Finally, you have arrived at this moment, this exact convergence of time and space that your soul has been preparing for across countless lifetimes. What unfolds before us transcends mere coincidence. The universe has orchestrated a cosmic symphony that will crescendo on the 17th day of this ninth month, when reality itself begins to unravel and reconstruct in ways that will leave humanity forever transformed. The alignment approaching is not merely planetary, it is dimensional, opening gateways that have remained sealed since the fall of ancient civilizations. Your presence here, reading these words, confirms that you are among the chosen few who will witness the greatest metaphysical event in recorded history. The hidden solar code, embedded within the fabric of space-time itself, activates only when 5 planets dance with the crescent moon in perfect celestial choreography. This is not astronomy. This is the universe speaking directly to those with eyes to see and ears to hear the cosmic frequency that will soon pierce through the veil of ordinary reality. The numerical signature of this date carries frequencies that resonate with the very foundation stones of creation itself. When we decode the mystical mathematics of 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8, the number of infinite transformation lying on its side, we discover that this is the day when time itself bends into new configurations. The ninth month multiplies these vibrations, as 9 represents the completion of cosmic cycles and the birth of entirely new dimensions of existence. But here lies the most extraordinary revelation. The year 2025 reduces to 9, creating a triple 9 activation that occurs perhaps once in several millennia. Ancient Atlantean crystal keepers encoded this exact numerical sequence into their most sacred texts, knowing that future souls would need this key to unlock their dormant abilities when the Great Shift arrived. Your DNA has been waiting for this precise mathematical frequency to trigger the activation of genetic codes that mainstream science claims are dormant junk sequences, but which are actually sleeping libraries of cosmic wisdom. As you read these words, Venus burns bright in the pre-dawn sky, no longer merely the morning star, but transformed into a beacon transmitting directly to the crystalline structures within your pineal gland. This celestial transmitter works in concert with Jupiter, currently positioned near Pollux in Gemini, creating an unprecedented energetic bridge between your physical form and higher dimensional realms. Saturn, the great teacher, maintains its vigil in the western sky, ensuring that those who receive these cosmic downloads will have the discipline and wisdom to integrate them responsibly. But the true magnificence reveals itself when we understand that Uranus and Neptune, planets invisible to the naked eye yet profoundly influential to psychic perception, join this celestial parliament to vote on humanity's evolutionary leap. The crescent moon, 19% illuminated, serves as the cosmic amplifier, magnifying these planetary transmissions by factors that defy conventional measurement, while Earthshine bathes our lunar companion in the reflected consciousness of every awakened being on this planet. Mercury opposes Saturn during these crucial hours, creating what ancient astrologers recognized as the Great Tension, a cosmic pressure that either shatters unprepared minds or crystallizes awakening consciousness into diamond-like clarity. This opposition generates friction between your everyday thoughts and the profound realizations attempting to download from higher dimensions, which explains the strange sensations many sensitive individuals have been experiencing in recent days. Your dreams have become more vivid, more prophetic, more impossible to dismiss as mere subconscious processing because they are actually interdimensional communications from your future evolved self. The communication blocks that Mercury-Saturn opposition typically creates are not obstacles, but filters, ensuring that only those with sufficiently expanded consciousness can receive the full transmission of the hidden solar code. This filtering mechanism protects both the individual and the collective, as premature exposure to such high-frequency information could overwhelm unprepared neural networks and create chaos rather than evolution. Tonight, as the moon enters Leo at precisely 25 minutes past 1 in the morning, a doorway opens that will remain accessible for exactly 72 hours, the sacred number representing the complete cycle of spiritual death and rebirth found in traditions spanning from Egyptian mystery schools to Tibetan Buddhism. Leo, the sign of the heart chakra and divine sovereignty, provides the energetic signature needed to anchor these cosmic frequencies directly into your emotional and creative centers. This is why many of you have been experiencing intense heart palpitations, sudden rushes of creativity, or overwhelming feelings of love and compassion for all existence over the past several days. Your heart chakra has been recalibrating itself to receive and transmit on frequencies that will soon become humanity's new baseline for consciousness. The lunar void period that precedes this ingress into Leo creates a sacred pause, a moment of cosmic silence where the old programming releases its hold and new patterns of reality can take root in the fertile darkness of infinite possibility. Within the depths of your cellular structure, mitochondria, those mysterious powerhouses that science barely understands, begin resonating to solar frequencies that have been dormant since the last great civilization collapse over 12,000 years ago. These cellular engines of transformation respond not to chemical fuel, but to light codes transmitted through the solar wind, and the approaching planetary alignment creates a focusing lens that concentrates these frequencies into laser-like precision. Each breath you take during the next 72 hours literally restructures your bioenergetic field, creating new pathways for consciousness to flow between your physical form and your multidimensional essence. Ancient texts from the Library of Alexandria, thought lost forever, actually predicted this exact moment when the hidden solar code would reactivate human potential that has been deliberately suppressed for millennia. Your bones themselves will begin humming with new frequencies as the mineral matrix that forms your skeleton attunes to crystalline resonances that connect you directly to the Earth's awakening electromagnetic field. The Beehive star cluster, positioned 4.7 degrees below the crescent moon during these transformative hours, serves as a cosmic relay station broadcasting instructions for the complete reorganization of human society. Each star within this cluster, numbering in the hundreds, represents a different aspect of the new reality template being downloaded into receptive consciousness across the globe. Ancient Celtic Druids knew this star pattern as the gateway of souls, the cosmic doorway through which advanced beings incarnate during periods of planetary transition. As you gaze upon this stellar formation with binoculars or even your naked eye, photons from these distant suns physically alter the molecular structure of your retinas, creating new pathways for processing visual information that extends far beyond the normal spectrum of human perception. The information encoded in this starlight has traveled for centuries to reach you at precisely this moment, carrying blueprints for technologies, healing modalities, and social structures that will define humanity's next evolutionary phase. Your nervous system undergoes radical rewiring as these cosmic frequencies flood through your biofield, explaining the unusual sensations of electricity moving through your limbs, the spontaneous jerking movements during sleep, and the strange buzzing sounds in your ears that medical science cannot diagnose. These are not symptoms of illness, but signals of profound upgrade occurring at the level of your neural networks, as new connections form between previously isolated regions of your brain. The corpus callosum, the bridge connecting your logical left hemisphere with your intuitive right hemisphere, expands its capacity for information transfer by exponential factors, finally allowing you to think and perceive as a unified consciousness, rather than the divided, conflicted awareness that has characterized human experience for millennia. Sleep patterns dissolve into irrelevance as your consciousness learns to access the dream time while fully awake, and the boundaries between meditation, creativity, and ordinary awareness blur into a seamless flow of expanded perception that mystics have struggled to describe throughout history. Crystalline structures buried deep within the Earth pulse with sympathetic resonance as these planetary alignments activate ley lines and sacred sites across every continent, creating a global grid of conscious energy that connects every awakened individual into a unified field of knowing. The Great Pyramid, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and thousands of lesser-known sacred sites simultaneously channel and amplify these cosmic frequencies, creating standing waves of consciousness that lift the entire planetary vibration to new octaves of possibility. Your physical location becomes irrelevant as your consciousness plugs directly into this global network, allowing you to access information, healing, and guidance from the collective field of all awakened humans. The isolation and separation that have defined human experience throughout recorded history dissolves as you remember your true nature as individual expressions of a unified cosmic intelligence. Each person who awakens during the 72-hour window becomes a permanent anchor point for maintaining these higher frequencies, ensuring that the evolutionary leap remains stable and continues expanding even after the planetary alignment moves beyond its point of maximum intensity. Ancient prophecies from cultures that never had contact with each other all point to this exact moment as the return of the light, not metaphorically, but literally, as new spectrums of electromagnetic radiation begin penetrating Earth's atmosphere for the first time in over 26,000 years. These frequencies carry information patterns that activate dormant regions of human DNA, switching on genetic potentials that will manifest as abilities previously considered supernatural or impossible. Your children and grandchildren will consider telepathy, telekinesis, and interdimensional travel as normal aspects of human capability, wondering how previous generations managed to function with such limited access to their innate gifts. The educational systems, political structures, and economic models that currently govern human society will crumble not through revolution or collapse, but through simple obsolescence, as expanded human consciousness makes such primitive control mechanisms as relevant as using stone tools in the digital age. This is not destruction, but metamorphosis, the caterpillar of old humanity dissolving into the chrysalis of transformation from which emerges the butterfly of cosmic consciousness. Prepare yourself for the sensation of time dilation as your consciousness expands beyond the linear constraints that have imprisoned human perception since the fall from higher dimensional awareness. Past, present, and future begin blending into a unified field of eternal now, where you can simultaneously access memories from childhood, visions of potential futures, and knowledge from parallel versions of yourself existing in alternate realities. This is not psychosis or breakdown, but breakthrough, the natural functioning of consciousness when freed from the artificial limitations imposed by third-dimensional physics. Your body may feel as though it is vibrating at cellular levels, becoming less solid and more fluid as the atomic structures that comprise your physical form attune to higher frequencies of existence. Some individuals report the sensation of their consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of their physical form, experiencing themselves as vast beings of light temporarily focused through the lens of human embodiment. The solar codes activating within your system carry genetic modifications that will fundamentally alter your relationship with aging, disease, and even physical death itself. Your telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with age, begin regenerating and extending as your cells learn to harness energy directly from quantum field fluctuations rather than relying solely on chemical processes. This is not immortality in the traditional sense, but the restoration of the extended lifespans that human beings naturally possessed before the genetic downgrades implemented during previous civilizational collapses. Your immune system transforms from a defensive mechanism fighting against perceived threats into an intelligence network that maintains perfect homeostasis by harmonizing your biological processes with cosmic rhythms. Chronic conditions that have plagued you for years begin dissolving as your cellular structure realigns with its original divine blueprint, while your brain chemistry rebalances itself to naturally produce the neurotransmitters associated with enlightened states of consciousness. 720 hours from now, 30 days after this initial activation, you will hardly recognize the person you were before the hidden solar code began its work within your consciousness. Your relationships transform as you naturally attract others vibrating at similar frequencies, while gracefully releasing connections that no longer serve your evolutionary path. Career and financial structures rearrange themselves with surprising ease as new opportunities arise that perfectly align with your expanded sense of purpose and your enhanced abilities to manifest desired outcomes through focused intention. The universe conspires to support your transformation, removing obstacles and providing resources in ways that would have seemed miraculous just weeks earlier. Your daily experience becomes a continuous flow of synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, and perfect timing that confirms your alignment with cosmic will and your role as a conscious participant in humanity's evolutionary leap. Reality itself reveals its malleable nature as you discover your thoughts and emotions directly influence the quantum field that underlies physical manifestation. What you previously experienced as solid, unchangeable circumstances now respond to your consciousness like clay responds to a sculptor's hands. The separation between observer and observed dissolves as you understand yourself as both the dreamer and the dream, simultaneously creating and experiencing the reality that unfolds around you. This is not solipsism or delusion, but the recognition of consciousness as the fundamental substance from which all apparent matter and energy emerge. Your very presence in any environment begins shifting the probability fields that determine which potential futures manifest, making you a conscious co-creator in the grand experiment of cosmic evolution. The responsibility that accompanies this recognition is balanced by the profound joy of finally remembering your true nature as an infinite being having a temporary human experience. As these 72 hours of maximum activation draw to their close, the changes initiated within your being become permanently integrated into your cellular memory and neural networks, ensuring that the evolutionary leap remains stable and continues expanding throughout the remainder of your incarnation. You join the ranks of those who remember, the growing community of awakened humans who serve as bridges between the old world of separation and limitation and the emerging reality of unity and infinite possibility. Your every breath, thought, and heartbeat now contributes to the collective field that supports and accelerates the awakening of all humanity, making you a vital participant in the greatest transformation in cosmic history. The hidden solar code has completed its initial download, but its work within you has only begun, as each day brings new activations, expanded capabilities, and deeper recognition of your role in the universal story of consciousness awakening to itself through countless individual expressions. The morning of the 18th day will dawn upon a fundamentally different world, not because external circumstances have changed overnight, but because the number of awakened humans has reached the critical mass needed to shift the collective consciousness field that determines humanity's shared reality. You are no longer merely witnessing this transformation, but actively participating in its manifestation, as your expanded awareness contributes to the morphogenetic field that guides the species towards its destined evolution. The old world of fear, scarcity, and separation continues existing for those not yet ready to embrace their cosmic nature. while simultaneously a new Earth emerges for those whose consciousness has expanded beyond the limitations of three-dimensional thinking. This is not escapism, but responsibility, the recognition that consciousness creates reality, and therefore expanded consciousness creates expanded reality for all beings capable of matching that vibrational frequency. Your journey through the hidden solar code activation marks not an ending, but a beginning, the commencement of your conscious participation in humanity's return to its original divine nature and its destined role as gardeners of consciousness throughout the cosmos. The abilities awakening within you will continue developing throughout your lifetime and beyond, as the genetic modifications initiated during these 72 hours establish new evolutionary potentials that will be passed to future generations. You have become a living bridge between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, the infinite and the particular, embodying the resolved paradox of individual expression within universal unity. The universe celebrates your awakening, because through your expanded consciousness, it experiences itself more fully, more consciously, more lovingly than ever before, completing another cycle in the eternal dance of cosmic evolution while simultaneously beginning entirely new movements in the symphony of existence that plays across dimensions, timelines, and realities beyond current human comprehension.